So, one of the films that we saw this month is Nomadland. Craig, would you like to talk about that?
If I must. In Chloe Zhao's Nomadland, Frances McDormand is Fern, a widower who, approaching retirement age, finds herself out of both job and home as a result of the late noughties financial crisis. Mainly out of necessity, but perhaps latterly, we come to understand also born partly of a nascent pioneer spirit, Fern adopts the life of a van-dwelling modern nomad, eking a frugal living out of seasonal Amazon warehouse work via their Camper Force initiative and other odd jobs throughout the remainder of the year. The movie follows Fern as she becomes an on-off member of a loose collective of other nomads, mentored by Bob Wells, here playing himself as the founder of the hugely influential cheap RV living website. It has been something of a talking point around the movie that much of its cast is comprised of non-actors, most of whom are authentic nomads themselves, though in addition to McDormand, we are also treated to an appearance from the always excellent David Strathairn as Dave, with whom Fern develops a low-key bond. Colour me cynical, but besides the veneer of authenticity, I also think a good reason to cast non-actors is that it helps one make this kind of a movie very cheaply. $5 million in this case, give or take. That's fine, and everyone involved seems happy with the arrangement, but throughout the whole affair, I couldn't really shake a feeling that there was something exploitative going on, a sense that was only compounded when I read an article of reputable origin which stated some of the nomads were surprised to find out McDormand was not actually one of them. I'll be overthinking that horribly, no doubt, and I don't think it's something anyone else seems bothered about, but it's part of a larger sense of dissatisfaction I have with the movie that I can't quite put my finger on. It's not that I need a laser-focused, propulsive narrative and or a caravan to randomly explode, but I'm also not saying that I don't think it would have helped. The value one finds in a meandering tale such as Nomadland will often boil down to what one makes of the characters, and this is a movie where the most interesting ones quite often disappear after 5 minutes of screen time, never to be seen again. Swanky, I'm looking at you. My biggest gripe is perhaps that I find McDormand allowing a little too much of her own personal idiosyncrasy into the role of Fern. I do like and admire McDormand a great deal as an actor, but I also harbour the suspicion that we'd probably find each other insufferable in person. There are moments here where I suspect we are seeing more of Frances than Fern, and where her contemplative ogling of the distant horizon borders a little too closely upon Emile Hirsch's gurning in that insufferable Sean Penn directorial effort from a while back. As interesting a concept as it is, I strongly suspect I'd enjoy Nomadland more as an out-and-out documentary, rather than this halfway house drama hybrid. I'm also incredibly glad that movies like this are being made right now, regardless of whether or not I enjoy them. And given everyone else whose opinion I value so far has told me they really enjoyed it, including my wife, I wouldn't want to try and actively dissuade you from seeing it. Have at it, I suppose.
Yeah, I also had that feeling about the documentary, Craig.
Cool.
I think partly
I am not alone.
No, partly because the non-actors are so clearly non-actors. And then when you have them against two people, Dave Strathairn and Frances McDormand, who are such good actors, that it really...
It becomes quite dissonant, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I find Nomadland quite a pleasant experience. It's interesting. I'm seeing places and people that you don't tend to see in film, so it has that going for it.
That's always going to be a good thing.
Yeah, but beyond that, it's like, okay. But I resolutely fail to see what all the fuss is about. I'd been really looking forward to this because, it's always foolish to potentially foolish to do that, but it's got all the awards. People talk about it for so long. I thought, this is going to be something really special. It's fine. It's okay. I don't see where all the hyperbole, as far as I'm concerned, hyperbole is coming from. And yeah, I'm really struck with that thing at the end. It's like you may have something about the exploitative nature, but I'm not sure. I don't know enough about Chloe Zhao to really get a handle on that. But
yeah,
there is that distance of like the non-actors really stand out because they look like non-actors. So
yeah,
like, why not just make a documentary?
There are sections of it where those non-actors are sort of delivering dialogue that is clearly not scripted and whatnot, and it comes across more as though they're being interviewed about something.
Exactly,
yeah. And tonally it just sort of, and then, the camera will cut across to Frances McDormand sort of like smiling kindly at them as she's taking it all in, and it just has the air of sort of some sort of, panorama report or something like that. It's just I just found it oddly dissonant, and I couldn't quite gel with it. I'm not I'm not angry that I watched it as I might be about some other films we'll discuss tonight, But yeah, I couldn't find myself caring a lot about it.
No, nor am I. I found it a relatively pleasant experience to watch, and there was that interest there. But there's certainly plenty of times when a particular story can be told best as a fiction, whether based on something true or not. And here, I think it's gone the other way, because it really did. Those felt like talking head segments of a documentary, and like Swanky in particular. I know her life story is very similar to how it's portrayed in the film, but the ending is different.
Yeah,
Like that she didn't go off and do that thing. I'm like, well, why? And I'm sure she was interested enough on her own. Just make a documentary. I didn't know that you would have to change an awful lot about it.
yeah, I would straight up watch 90 minutes of just basically chatting with her about why she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a pleasant enough thing. I don't get the crazy praise it's got. It's a fine film.
Yeah. Scott, tell us we're wrong.
I heard this described as a tone poem, and it has not been a tone poem kind of week for me, so I've not seen this. I'll get to it at some point.
Fair enough.
Apathy is the consensus then.
Okay, so there is something you have seen